being. I think the moon was placed there in our orbit to balance the Earth energies, to move the tides in the sea, to move them, and to replenish life on the Earth. I mean, he has a whole thing about the moon, but, I mean, those are specifics. But in general, there's so many people in this field that have their own opinions, and I honor all of them because they are all trying to do something to uplift humanity, and they all deserve.
They're doing their part. They're doing their part the way they know how to do their part.
And I take a little piece from here, a little piece from there. I mean, I don't believe everything that I hear in the UFO field, but I definitely think David Wilcox, David Icke are doing great jobs.
You interviewed Source A. I remember that.
Source A? Who?
Well, that was the two, I forget, the brothers that were
Source A. Yeah, Clay and Sean. Yeah, yep. They live in New York. I run into them a lot. You know, the thing about them was that I was having a UFO meeting, and these guys come into the meeting, and they know so much. We couldn't figure out if they were like CIA or they were just really
good investigators. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do think they're really good investigators, but you know, they are so detailed and so on top of it. I haven't talked to them in a while. I should definitely talk to them again.
There you go. There's a reminder for you.
Well, thank you. I did interview Jacques Vallée recently. Do you know his work?
Oh, yeah. Of course. Tom, you know who Jacques Vallée is.
Of course.
Well, he has a new book out.
Lately, he stepped back from a lot of the, the conventional stuff that he was working with, but I think his early works were exceptional.
Well, he just wrote a new book called Wonders in the Sky, which traces 2,000 years of UFO sightings. And one of the amazing things about that book is that he's saying the phenomena has not changed in 2,000 years. People are seeing today what they saw and describing it the same way. So it makes you think, will disclosure ever happen, or is this an ongoing another level of secrecy that human consciousness is not aware of? I do think it is coming to a head. The thing about Jacques Vallée was he was saying that the UFO experience is not about little gray beings and spaceships. It's a much bigger phenomena, a paranormal phenomena that I don't know if I agree with totally, but there might be some truth to that. What do you think, Tom?
Well, one of the things that I, through my experiences, dealing with not only in the UFO field, the paranormal, and many other areas that I work with, that all these things seem to have a very common denominator.
What's that?
They have a lot of similarities. It seems that, there might be one source that all these things are coming from. It's almost like we're being tested, and on an individual level and sometime on a larger level.
Well, do you think there are grays? You do think there are grays about the...
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not 100% sure if we're dealing with, like, for instance, a lot of people may say that, there's numerous races that are coming here, and there's different dimensional beings, and there's all kinds of different things. So the way that I see all these phenomena is that they have a lot of similarities to them. Like, for instance, if you see, an individual who sees a ghost, the first thing that they're going to do is, be afraid. And so fear is a factor. When, somebody sees an alien of whatever type, again, fear falls into it.
Well, it just shows you humans are afraid of a lot of what they don't know.
Exactly. But the what it creates for that individual is very similar. So in other words, if a person who saw a ghost or who saw a religious apparition or an alien or whatever,
creates a shift.
It creates a shift in their, like you said, in their consciousness and in their perception, right?
Right.
what it does, like all these phenomena seem to have a very similar effect on the individuals involved, and it gives them that sort of edge that now they shift their ideas of whatever they have been taught before.
So will some drug experiences, so will some shamanic journeys. I mean, I think what you're saying is not, I mean, my belief is not so much it's from the same source, but it's from opening new possibilities in the human mind when you meet these different types of experiences. I mean, I think the experiences are different. We are developing a language and a distinction for these different types of things. But the shift, yes, that it happens for humans might be the same. But I do think they're different.
The way it's happening right now, it's happening on a larger scale. And I think, like, for instance, organized religion right now is in a very defensive mode. They're losing a lot of their customers, if not to put it another way. So I think by opening this consciousness right now, however is occurring, it will help us to proceed. Maybe not, in the next 20, 30 years, but it will certainly happen sometime in the future if we don't do anything major to ourselves, of course.
No, it's helping us to perceive what? That,
Well, I think it's opening our minds right now, right? It's changing us to, evolving a little bit different. Right now, we were accustomed to, and we were taught, specific ways how to dress, how to react, how to pray, how to, all this kind of stuff. We weren't individuals. We were, all one type of controlled being, but right now, the way it's occurring, I think we're starting to open up our minds. And of course, one of the things is that technology is allowing us to reach more people. With programs like ours, that we can broadcast now throughout the whole world, basically, is changing, a lot of people's perceptions.
Right, and it's important, and I think it's the end of the time of religion, hopefully, because religion traps people into a particular belief system, and most of the wars on the planet are about belief systems, and if we can come into a new understanding where science and spirituality, as I like to call it, can reinforce each other. I mean, there's a science to out-of-body experience. There's a science in near-death. There's a science to incarnational human experience. There's a science to all that. I just talked to someone whose son was a reincarnation of a Tibetan Lama, and he had all these memories and sort of proved it in a way. And so that's not religion, and it's a new type of understanding who we are, and it's very exciting. And that's why the work of Nassim, who has a spiritual basis, and Bruce Lipton, who's coming at biology from a spiritual level, and yes, I think religion no longer has a hold on people because it no longer answers their questions.
Okay.
And it also became involved with what we were just talking about before, those forces that wanted to keep things stuck,
Right, and that threatens. I mean, I guess China is an example of with it, hacking off the internet and being, in control of access. What are they afraid of? Are they afraid of people getting access to information outside of the perceived, status quo information?
Well, is changing their views, right? So if you have a very specific thing that you give people, and all of a sudden other views come into play, then they're going to start questioning things, and they don't want to have questions being brought.
And that also comes into like the government control.
Right, but
Well,
we have to relate it all back to what is essentially human and the mind, and we are human beings that continually question, and to suppress that is to suppress part of our natural essence, and this is what people are realizing. That's why we're moving into a new renaissance, and it's about this new time. It's about new possibilities, really. I mean, the Renaissance was this flowering of creativity, and it was that same time that Columbus discovered this new world. Well, we're about to discover a new world and have a flowering of human consciousness and human creativity, and I really feel this is the great excitement we're moving into.
I mean, humans, I agree with you completely. Humans cannot be stuck on this planet forever. Either we're going to, destroy ourselves, or an outside force is going to, just like others, civilizations previous to us have been wiped out by events beyond their control, or we're going to get to space, or we're going to get out there. The destiny of the human, I think it was Bob Dean that said the destiny of the human race is in space. And I believe that. I think that there's no choice. We got to eventually get to that point, either on an internal or an external level.
Well, this is about, of course, it's about the next level of evolution is seeing the planet as a wholeness. So we go from tribes to countries to planets to a group of planets. It's evolution, it's just the natural way consciousness within creation works, is to start to explore the unknown. Look, humans are everywhere on planet Earth. I don't think there's a place on the planet there haven't been humans, and it's this natural curiosity to explore the unknown, and that's just in our nature, and that cannot be repressed or suppressed. So we're going to explore the unknown. It's going to keep going. That's more important than war, I think.
I agree. It's definitely more important than the war.
And that's why I think creativity is such an important component in this new age, in this new realities that we're moving into. The creative potential in each one of us is a big thing that I like to focus on, because it's the artists, it's the science, the creative scientists that are bringing in these new potentials, and it's also very exciting for me to meet those people. That's why I do my show also, so I can meet those cutting-edge scientists. I have an interview.
You get a lot out of it.
Yeah, I have an interview coming up with Lynn McTaggart, who wrote the book The Field. You know that book?
I heard about it. I don't know a lot about it.
Oh, Lynn's an amazing person, but she's basically saying there's a field of energy that connects people, that surrounds us, that science is proving, that and it's non-local in a way. It connects people, but it's not necessarily a linear process.
Right.
It's a whole very involved story, a book that she wrote with the leading scientists. She interviews Hal Puthoff, who I interviewed, who started remote viewing for SRI, Stanford Research Institute.
Yeah, I used to call him all the time.
He's a great guy, and she goes into why this is science, the science behind all that. So that's just another aspect. Yes.
We're going to have to end it here. I think we're over our time, but I want to thank you, Alan, for coming on the show, and I'm going to get in touch with you about some of those people you were mentioning that we could talk to. I'd love to. There's a bunch of people I'd love to get a hold of. I mean, and that's the thing, as many shows as we can get them on talking about this stuff, it benefits everybody. So,
and I want to get some of your guests on. Can you just tell me what you talked to Bill Ryan about, what that whole webinar thing was about?
Yeah.